Good morning, Andy Slawetsky here. I am here today with Marc Spring of Evolved Office and ITEX. Marc is down in Florida. Marc, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing as good as could be expected, and thanks for having me on, Andy. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. So first off, how's the family? How's the team down in Florida down there in the Fort Lauderdale area? How's my buddy Roger doing? How are your people?
Family is doing great. Everybody so far, knock on wood, is healthy, and I appreciate you asking. My team is doing fantastic. We were, I don't want to say we were ready for this, but, we've got a bunch of people that already work remote. So we've kind of gone through the whole process of having a remote operation. So I've had 3 people already who were working remote previously. So we really knew what to do. And as we kind of crept up on this thing, we got ahead of it, and, we're prepared with all the things that we needed to run a remote operation.
Very nice.
Thanks for asking. How about yourself? How's everybody up there?
We're good. We're a little bit behind the curve compared to New York City down the street from us. So, we're all hunkered in at home and just trying to wait it out. So thank you for asking. We're all good here so far, so good. My parents, the Lou down there in Florida, he's doing well as well so far. And, hopefully it'll stay that way. How has it been with the dealers right now, working with them? We'll ask you about ITEX in a second, but, your dealers, the stuff that you do is all online, social media. You do a lot of websites and things like that. What's it been like working with the dealers? What's their needs right now that you're dealing with?
What we're seeing right now is an increase actually in the Evolved Office side of the business on the email marketing side. Social media, the PPC and the SEO stuff has taken a little bit of a back seat as far as people like really looking to go out after that net new business, but supporting, their current customer base by using touch points that they can get in front of their current customers. So that side of our business really has not seen a drop off. Actually, we've seen customers reaching out to us, because as soon as we had this coronavirus creep up on us, we started to prep content that we knew that dealers were going to need to get in front of their customers and let them know that they were in business and that they had the services and the products available to help them through the crisis. Things like being able to set up remote conferencing, remote offices, taking care of their security, and getting their employees to be able to, seamlessly work from home like I'm doing.
So just to take a step back, the Evolved Office, one of the offerings is these articles you mentioned. So what kind of topics? Tell me about the COVID related topics that you're starting to fill the dealer websites with. Sure.
So, initially some of the topics we were coming out were basic things about office etiquette, because, it really wasn't hitting us that hard. In the beginning, it was all the way over on the West Coast. First it was China, then a little bit on the West Coast, and we were feeling it. So we started putting out some articles about, how to keep your office clean, how to sterilize things, how, you think you just wipe a keyboard down, but it's got all kinds of holes and crevices. So how do you do a keyboard, a printer? How do you socially distance in an office? Going from high fives to elbows to whatever they called I think it was called the Wuhan shake, where people touched feet, but, office etiquette. And then, it really started to take off. And from there, we started to really see the need for our dealers and the VARs to have content to let them know a couple things. First of all, that they were in business and they were running and fully operational, even though they might not have been in their offices. Those buildings might have been closed up, but that they also had a need for content to let their customers know the services that they offered. So what could they do for them? What did these home workers need? Well, they needed some small printers. They needed remote conferencing. They needed to be able to set up to their VPNs and have security. You're letting your computers and your laptops go outside of your office. How do I control that? So there's so many things where, if the dealer, drank the Kool-Aid years ago and diversified their business and got into those managed services, this was really unfortunately, the coup de grace. My IT providers are absolutely slammed right now. They could not have more work because of all of this remote workforce. And what's happening is they're ordering new things. They're ordering things like teleconferencing and the tools that it takes to really get up your key executives to running at home. Sometimes it's not as easy as just grabbing a webcam and plugging it into your PC. Sometimes it is, but sometimes you need something much more high tech when you're trying to bring together a group of 15 or 20 people. So, there's a real huge opportunity for the office technology seller, the dealer, to see this as where the industry is going anyway. 15% of our workforce worked remote before COVID-19. Right now, 80% of our workforce, I don't know if they're working, but they're at home. So what's going to happen?
What is going to happen?
Like me,
that's a good segue. What do you think the dealer looks like on the other side of this? What do you think the dealer of 2021 and 2022 looks like versus the dealer of 2018, 2019? Is there a difference?
Well, print is going to, print has already been, kind of, I want to say flatlining or declining as millennials come in and they're willing to use digital documents. That's, that's nothing new, right? But now what's going to happen is companies like mine who realize, oh my God, my employees can actually do this from home. I don't need $6,000 a month in rent. I can do this with maybe $1,500 and have key executives in the office and let the sales and graphic design, if you hire great people and you can trust them, and I think that's the key, is making sure you hire right. If you hire right, then you could put your people remote and trust them to do their job, and you save a huge amount of money. I mean, the building that I'm in right now, the landlord sees it. He lost a client downstairs, their bank, and right now Evolved Office is 100% remote. And I will tell you, and I know that the people who I work with, all of our employees there, they will tell you that it is a lot more efficient. I won't repeat this back to them, but they'll all see this. But it's a lot more efficient to work like this, because if you're using products like Teams or Slack or things like these collaboration tools, you don't need to walk over to someone's office to have that meeting. And you can share your screens back and forth. And, some people can work from home. Some people can't. I think I'd have a hard time working from home all the time. I've already got a few extra pounds on me. I would probably just blow up. But
you just have to get a routine.
Yeah, but the guys the people who work for me, and a lot of millennials, they're amazing. My team has been absolutely off the charts. The Evolved Office team have been, and the ITEX crew have been off the charts. It has been seamless. And so as we're going to go back, I don't want to go back to paying $6,000 a month. So you're talking about, I'm thinking that could be 15% of the workforce doesn't go back. You might have as high as 30% of the workforce working remote. Well, where are they going to be printing to? Local little devices that our industry doesn't really service, right? So where does that take them when we all go back? It's going to be a new normal. And I think people have to prepare for that, have to start thinking about what that new normal is. And how do you leverage those people that are going to be at home? I'm not, sure the print end of it, that dealers are not going to really get into inkjets and, but maybe they are. Maybe they are. Maybe they need to
I've got several clients who would beg to differ.
Okay. So, there goes maybe something where dealers for years said, inkjet's that small. So, maybe they can't do without it now. Maybe they need to figure out a way to be in that inkjet business as the workforce starts.
Not just for the low end. Inkjet is, the machines are getting bigger and bigger, and now we're also seeing laser push down to that point where it's more affordable. Some of the companies that I've been doing these interviews with, some of the dealers even, they are putting together full circle packages, all-inclusive packages where it's a laptop. It's these guys are fortunate enough to have gotten into managed services, so they sell the computer hardware as well. So, they've got packages now with a small printer, a laptop. It's all pre-configured. The customer just gets it either shipped or dropped off, or they pick it up somewhere and they go home, plug everything in, and boom, everything works, everything's connected, everything's on. And that's kind of, I think, one of the new things we're starting to see some dealers come out with, where, all right, well, maybe this isn't, a big $20,000, $30,000 single unit, but if I can sell 15 or 20 of these to this company, to that company, to that company at $1,000 or a couple thousand a pop, suddenly I have a different revenue stream and a different
Absolutely.
category I'm servicing now. So, I do agree. I think there's definitely some opportunities going forward for people who position themselves right. We're running up against the clock here. I do want to ask you just a couple comments on, obviously, just like everything else, we're not going to be going to your meeting, to one of my favorite meetings of the year, ITEX.
Yep.
Not yet, but we're shifting it towards the future, it sounds like. So why don't you just give us a little update on where we're at with ITEX?
Well, ITEX was postponed. We certainly didn't want to do that for our 20th anniversary, but we're also not going to, now you can't do it at all, but, when we postponed it, people could still go to meetings, but, we want to put on a great event. And so the deal is, people say, oh, you're listening to WHO or CDC. No, we're listening to the dealers when they have their businesses back up, when they're running, when they feel comfortable that they can actually leave their businesses. Because there's going to be a transition from, let's get back to work, let's get back out and see our customers, get our house in order, and then they'll go to events. So anybody who thinks that they could just go and throw their event and everybody's just going to show up, I think they're sadly mistaken. So I want to make sure the event that we put on is top notch, that we bring out the right attendees. So we'll be back. We're just going to, ride this thing out. My guess would be, best case scenario is the end of the year. That's a best case. And I think, that's kind of like thinking that Easter, the country was going to go back to work, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking more like we're going to be back at the beginning of 2021, but you never know. You never know. They come out with a vaccine and a way to, get everybody cured and people get confident, then we go right back to it. But for right now, we're sitting on the sidelines. We're working on the event. We're looking for partners. If anybody out there is looking to co-locate their event, if you've got a small, medium, large size event, you want to work with us, we're looking for partners who want to co-locate their events with us. So we're always building that up. We are most likely taking our event back to Las Vegas. I think people will be happy to hear that. But it looks like we will be going back to Vegas for the next ITEX event. So exciting stuff, man, exciting stuff. And I appreciate you letting me get on your show here and getting the word out, man. You've been a great friend. I can't thank you enough, man. It's great to have a relationship with someone like you. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, well, we get along great. I love what you do down there. So you stay safe, and we will, I'm going to check in with you in a few weeks, and hopefully we've got some progress and we can talk about things and, where we're going from there. But I'm looking forward to, at some point down the road, getting ITEX on the calendar and having just a kick-ass 20th celebration of that. My dad and some of the others, a couple of the others who aren't with us anymore, were there for your first ones. And
yeah, man,
I'm really looking forward to
Norton and Cestilio and oh my God, Pesco. We miss you guys. Some of them aren't here at all. But yeah, those are your dad. Let me tell you something, man. One thing I say, I love Lou. He was there for me from the beginning and always gave me a lot of love. So I do appreciate that.
Well, you are the best, and stay safe and say hi to all your people down there and miss them. And we'll see you guys soon, and hopefully, and we'll talk soon, Marc. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
Bye-bye. Perfect.